The- As far as anxiety and Invisalign is concerned, there are actually quite a lot of misconceptions around. Largely, I think, brought about by people making comments on social media platforms about individual experiences that they've had. This is something that's echoed throughout dentistry. Like, for example, if a patient comes in and says, "Oh, I'm having a problem with my wisdom tooth," you'll then get this cascade of advice from everyone around them who's had a wisdom tooth, had a friends who had a wisdom tooth taken out, and an absolute nightmare with it. And so then that comes into your little echo chamber, and suddenly this is a really daunting prospect. For us, like 99.9% of Invisalign patients have an absolutely effortless and painless experience throughout their Invisalign. And more often than not, they'll be surprised because they'll expect something to be uncomfortable and find that they didn't even notice it. And then say, "Oh, I thought it was going to be like this," and it wasn't like that at all. So anxiety for us is actually part and parcel of our daily work. Pretty much every single patient that we see will have some kind of anxiety about either procedures that we're doing or has had a bad experience of some description in the past. And so we have to work with everybody that we meet to some degree in alleviating those concerns. And so I appreciated a long time ago that anxiety was something that held a lot of patients back from even coming to see us. And so when we meet patients from the very first time that we step out into the waiting room to call them through, you can tell straight away whether a patient is comfortable or anxious or just about to lose every sense that they've got before they come into surgery. So when I started the hypnotherapy journey some 15 odd years ago, it was really to give myself another tool in that conversation, another way to help somebody to relax. Because if you can take somebody from um, and put them in their most feared environment, shall we say, so in the dental chair, in a dental surgery, and you can teach them how to be calm in that environment, I think it's really empowering for that individual, because it's very rare that I find anxiety is isolated to just one environment. It's usually just a greater expression, if you like, in that space. Whereas in other areas, they'll still feel anxious in life. And the people that I've worked with some really lovely clients over the years, started off extremely anxious. And whether we were doing Invisalign or whether we were doing general routine dentistry, or in fact, even full mouth reconstructions, it's amazing what a couple of sessions of just hypnotherapy can do for someone's confidence and for someone's ability to just relax.